Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today again with a review of Claws Season 3, Episode 9. So, you guys, I actually did this whole review last night, yesterday after work. And, well, let me just show you what happened. What the fuck? I just did this Claws review. Is it gone? Oh my god. You guys, this day has been so bad. I don't understand. What did I do to deserve today? I just fucking did the whole Claws review and it's not here. My computer shut off, and then when I got it back on, well, it didn't shut off. The screen went dark. And then I just tapped the button and it came back, and the whole fucking thing is gone. God, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. It's been 30 fucking minutes! Oh my god, I can't do this again. I can't do this again. I cannot do this again. Yeah, you guys, I was too through. I couldn't bring myself to do it again, and I really wanted to get it done yesterday because I only wanted to do Love and Hip Hop Hollywood today. I wanted to, focus all of my energy just on that one video. However, yesterday was, like I said, so horrible, and then I had to try to redo that video. It just was not happening. And I was like, that's fine, because that purple lipstick made my teeth look yellow. So we got a second chance at all things today. We're going to thank God for that. I was looking at that video. I was just like, why they look so yellow? Y'all, they ain't that bad. I am going to get them whitened anyway, you guys. We're going to get through Claws real quick so I can get to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So the review. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so one thing about doing the video second time is you really know what you're going to say, so maybe it'll go by faster. So the show opens with Anne dreaming about raising her child, in this case her daughter, with Arlene. But of course we know that it's a dream because Arlene is dead. When she comes to, or when she wakes up, we see her in bed just distraught, just grief all over her face, okay? Can barely open her eyes, and Desna, Jen, and Virginia are laying around her just trying to console her. But they feel bad, okay? They leave her there in the bed and they go out in the other room, and, they've just never seen this type of grief. Well, Jen says she has, but it ain't the same. Now, of course, Desna's crying as usual. It's all my fault. Yes, it's your fault. But Desna tells him that, she got problems because she's got to kill Melba. And they were like, yeah, you are not a cold-blooded killer. Now, you might have done it in self-defense, but this is a whole nother ball game. Well, she doesn't really have any choice. We got to do something. And, of course, Anne overhears her and says, well, we got to off Melba. Yes, Anne has been listening from the back, unbeknownst to them. And of course, Desna's like, no, Anne, let me handle it. And then when I fuck that up, y'all can come and help me again. And it's not real surprising that Anne wants to get revenge on Melba because remember, Desna told her that Mac killed Arlene. Now, jumping over to Polly. Polly's having second thoughts about the murder/suicide that they did, on Trip the night before. So she goes to the office and she tells Joe, like, what if we made a mistake? What if we left something behind? Oh, no, not Joe, honey. Joe is a professional at this. Well, Polly's worried because she cannot go back to jail. All right, but, Joe's telling her, don't worry, he got this and all of that. We also find out that Joe is actually the mole for the professor from the McCalls. Okay, and Polly was like, what? So you're the one that told him about everything and has caused all of this mess? He says, yep, he's the one. Even though he's told Polly, she has to promise that she won't tell anybody else. All right. And what can Polly do? She's in love with this man. So, yeah, she promises. I said, oh, no, Polly, not going against the crew. This cannot be good. So we see Polly go back to the salon and, she's got to tell Desna something. Desna has put her on the case, remember? So she was just like, yeah, she was there with her man, And, they went and killed the governor and Desna was like, what? They said that he committed suicide. That's what the news said. Yeah, well, Polly can't say that her man is not a professional. Desna's like, this is too much. Too much death, too much killing. Hell, Desna has to kill Melba. Polly says, well, I can help you with that. And of course, Desna's like, no, she got to do this all by herself. But hold tight. She might need you later. Oh, it's going to be a running gag, you guys. But what are we going to do with Melba? Now, speaking of Melba, Melba is breaking it to Dean that Mac Daddy has died. And she won't go into details, but he died a hero, died in the line of fire. You know, of course, Melba is still very upset about it. Now, Dean, he's trying to process it. But, of course, he also says, I'm not going to be in this Mahjong tournament. And she was like, oh, no, you got to be in the tournament. You got to, because if you win, we'll get the money and it'll put it towards the school. You know, of course, she's not going to put it towards the school, but we tell Dean that because that's what always he has been told. Okay, you got to do it. She starts crying. Well, like most men don't like to see women if they care about cry. So he says, okay, I'll do the Mahjong tournament. Now, in walks Desna, and I guess Desna was really there to kill Melba, but since she sees Dean there, she tries to talk to him, but like I said, Dean is very conflicted about what he just found out, and he's like, I gotta go. So he walks out the room, but like I said, Desna's there to kill Melba, I guess. So Melba is in the bathroom. It's a public bathroom. You know, Desna does lock the door, but when she walks in, I'm just like, so this is your plan? She pulls out this big ass gun, ain't got a silencer on it the first, and she points it at the stall right at the door. And I guess her idea is that she is going to shoot Melba, you know, blow her head off through the door. Now, so many things could go wrong here. I mean, it was obvious that Melba was the only one in the room, in the bathroom. But, I mean, did she check? And I guess Melba was singing, so we heard that. But, girl, you just gonna make this big ass ruckus and kill this woman? And right, I was just like, ooh, Desna and these harebrained schemes. All right. But then we see her pull the trigger. And I was like, oh, damn. But of course, when the door opens and Melba's still talking with this big ass hole in her chest, I was like, okay, this is a dream. And sure enough, it was. Because Desna's not a cold-blooded killer. So when Melba opens the door and comes out, she's looking at Desna like, can I help you? Like, what the hell you doing just standing at the door? But Melba's so upset about, you know, losing Mac, that she doesn't even stop to try to think about the reason why Desna would just be standing there looking at the door. She's just talking about how much she's going to miss her man, and, you know, how they had so much in common, and he would rub her feet, and they, you know, they both hated circus acts. She's just kind of talking to Desna as if Desna was a friend. All right, she doesn't even stop to think about the fact that the door to the bathroom is locked. All right, that lets you know that Melba ain't on her game right now. And Desna hasn't been able to kill her. Well, way to go, Desna. Okay, now that you found that Mama Melba, you know, means a lot to Dean, now you don't even know if you can do it. You can't do it, girl. Cut it out. Now let's jump over to the clinic, you guys. Uncle Daddy is at the clinic with Bryce. You guys, they look like they having like some kind of hot yoga session. All of the drug addicts, you know, they're trying to sweat out their impurities, I guess. And when Roller walked in the room, he was like, damn, it's stinking. This shit is so random. These are the reasons why I love this show. But he comes in there because they got a problem. He turns on the TV for Uncle Daddy and Bryce and Toby to see. And it seems that the news have found Clint's body. Toby, he's watching the news with everybody else, but Toby gets caught up in his own thing and thinks that the newscaster on the TV is blaming him. Like, you know, you were involved. You need to get in touch with the police. You know, you need to confess. All right. And Toby's getting all upset. Everybody looking at him like, are you okay? You know, and Toby was like, yeah, I'm okay. All right, but Toby not okay. I thought Toby was going to be a problem for Brenda, but I guess Brenda ain't really that big of a deal. She don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So now I see that Toby is going to be the problem because Toby feels extreme guilt. While he's worrying about them demons, you know, Uncle Daddy tells Roller, don't you worry about this. You know, this ain't going to blow back on you. I'm going to make sure that I take care of it. All right, and Roller sure hopes so, because Roller also says that he ain't going back to prison. He goes by what Uncle Daddy says, but Roller is stressed. He calls Desna, and he tells her that we need to get our story straight. And she was like, what more story other than we don't know nothing, we didn't see anything. But he was like, yeah, we got to get it straight again. He ain't going back to jail. In the meantime, what's going on with you killing Melba? She says she working on it. I don't know why that Desna like to act like she's so about it. But anyway, Uncle Daddy, Roller, Toby, they sit down and they, make sure that they have their story straight on exactly what happened with Clint, yada, yada, yada. Okay, he was at the clinic. They haven't seen him, too much after that. So they try to get straight on their story. So when Rolla leaves, Toby is talking to Uncle Daddy, and he's just feeling really bad. Like, I used to be a good person. He's done all this dirt, I guess in the name of love with Uncle Daddy. But when he was younger, he was a good altar boy, and he would talk to the bishop and confess his sins, and, it wouldn't be Claus if they didn't talk about, the Catholic Church and their problems that they've had with, slyly talking about the problems that they've had with the molestation of children within the church, mostly boys. But okay, he can't take it. Maybe he'll feel better though if he does go back to church and he confesses. And Uncle Daddy was like, oh no, you need to keep this bottled the hell up inside. You don't need to go tell the father. I'm your daddy now. So just let it all out on me. Again, Toby about to be a problem. So Rolla goes back to the casino and he tells Desna, okay, don't worry about it. Uncle Daddy is going to handle it. That whole Clint shit is fixed and it's gone. Desna wished she could say the same, but she just missed her best chance of killing Melba. She says that her life is all wrong. The only right thing about her life right now is Rolla. I said, well, child, I don't know if Rolla going to be around that long. You better enjoy him while she can. So the Mahjong tournament. Okay, Dean is playing, Dean is winning. Okay, I guess they got different, levels, and he's going to advance on through. Now, the professor is there as well. He's watching, and he walks up to Desna and want to know, what the hell time is money around here when you going to kill Melba? She was just like, I can't just walk up and kill the woman in the middle of everything, and he was like, listen, I told you that you need to take care of her, and I mean that shit like yesterday. So get to it pronto. As the game is going on, we see Dean makes it to the finals. Surprise, surprise, actually, Dean loses. Well, there goes that plan for Melba. All right, once it's over, and she just kind of hanging around eating. Desna walks up to her and pulls a gun on her. It was just like, move, bitch. Melba was just like, what? Girl, what's wrong with you? I mean, is this some sort of, weird sexual kinky game that you playing? Oh, no. This is Desna's plan. Her plan is going to, I guess, kidnap Melba. She takes her out to like the back alley of the casino and the girls are out there. What happened to let me handle this? I'm going to take care of this by myself. I'll tell you that Desna. She's something else, okay? But the girls are there. The crew is there, including Quiet Ann. She was like, what's Ann doing here? Oh, no, Ann was going to be front and center on this one. She walked up to Melba and knocked that ass out, okay? So they hurry up and hustle her into the van and they take her to the salon. So they got Melba tied up at the salon in the same chair that Penelope was killed. I mean, that they, found Penelope in dead. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, so what is the plan? You guys going to kill her all up close and personal like this? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, isn't it easier to kill somebody from far away? I would imagine. It ain't like I done went and killed anybody close or far. But what y'all plan is right now, okay? Now, Melba's knocked out. And they get to talking, and Ann is saying why she wants to kill Melba, because Mac killed Arlene. Well, Melba wakes up, and she was like, oh, is that what Desna told you? All right, Mac didn't kill Arlene. The professor did. Desna, while she's trying to stop Melba from talking, well, it's too late, because Ann has already heard it. And Ann was like, is that true, Desna? Well, of course it is. But Desna didn't tell Ann that because she knew that she would be all hell-bent on this revenge, and that she was going to go out and get herself killed. Now, remember, I had told you guys last week, or at least I think I might have said it in the comments, that I think the reason why Desna told her that Mac did it is because she was figuring that Mac was already dead and that, Ann wasn't going to, Arlene's dead, Mac's dead, so even Steven, but we got Melba still left over. And so she didn't realize that Ann was still going to want to kill Melba. But you guys said in the comments that she was, but you guys was thinking that that's why Desna did it. But Desna said what I thought she was doing, okay, which was she did it because she thought because Mac was already dead. Well, Ann don't want to hear that shit. You always lying. You always doing stuff, and it's only for your benefit. Desna was like, what? I did this all for you guys. And they were like, are you sure? Because this all seemed like this just for you now. So the shit is escalating. There's always been this underlying thing of distrust with Desna and Ann. Remember, Ann has been upset with Desna before. So Jen was like, let's take a step back. Okay, let's calm it on down. So Desna says, well, this was all for all of us. And Ann was like, well, maybe at the beginning. But all of a sudden, you start talking about the casino and you wanted the casino and, you just got blinded by the power and the money that could come from that. And now is dead. And Desmond was like, that shit ain't my fault. Okay, you the one went and told your damn brother everything, and that's why Arlene went down there. She said, are you trying to say it's my fault? She said, no, I said that's the reason why Ann went down there. She said, well, I mean Arlene. And she was like, well, that's saying like it's my fault. All right, so then Polly steps in. Wait a minute. You know, she's going to give a story about Shmezna, someone who was blinded by the lust and the power of this casino, you know, started to forsake their friends, basically. All for this big time life that they really not about. So Desmond says, okay, listen, I get it. I fucked up. I messed up. I made some bad decisions. Okay, and Polly was like, you sure did, because after that, then everything became about Roller's dick. And Desmond was like, oh, wait a minute, now I know you ain't talking. Why don't you tell the girls that you done fell in love with Joe? And that you been over there fooling around with him, and now you in love with him, and how are we supposed to even trust you? And they were like, you are fooling around with Joe? And Polly then backs up like she can't believe Desmond just said it. Well, honey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? They're all disgusted with Polly. She starts to try to take up for him. You guys, you know, you don't know him. He's a good person. And Melba was just like, I can't believe he's messing with you. After all me and Mac did for him, and he does this to us. Polly was like, you don't know him. And she was like, oh, I know him. I bet you he didn't tell you that he was married, did he? And then Polly was like, what? That's not true. You know, she goes off on Melba and says, no wonder he called in the macaw. And everybody was like, he called in the macaw. Okay, so now we done transferred the energy over to Polly. All right, Polly didn't talk too much mad. Oh, yeah, he actually is a mole for the professor. And, oh, it is a mess now. So everybody is arguing. And they doing all this arguing in front of Melba. Now, remember, Melba is the enemy. And we ain't figured out what we gonna do with her just yet. So let's go in the other room so we can continue to argue. So they go in the other room. And they're about to start finishing up this argument. And Melba runs. Okay? Like the Keystone Cops are there. Now they got to chase after Melba. Make sure that you know, that bitch don't get away. So they all go chasing out after her. And she runs out into the parking lot. You guys, there's a bus full of circus people. I swear this is the reason why I love this show. Who comes up with this? Okay, she runs up to one of the little people clowns, and you know, she's trying to get them to help her, but they hurry up and wrestle her back into the salon. While they're out there, Polly bumps into leaving the clinic, and he asks her how she and Joe are doing. Well, not that well, considering, but she ain't letting Ken know that, and of course Ken is having his own feelings about him stealing from the clinic, but it's still very clear that Ken loves Polly, and I guess Polly gonna rethink this whole love thing for Joe too. So Polly just tells him that she gotta go, and she runs back into the salon. We see Roller, he's over at the casino with Dean. You know, Dean's a little down about losing the Mahjong tournament. He still looks like he's trying to process his emotions right now, and Roller tells him, you know, I know you know, upset about Mac, and he was just like, yeah, you know, he says, well, did you love him? And Dean says, well, it's hard for him to quantify the word love, okay, but he did care about him a lot. And you know, but again, Dean's trying to get this is all in his mind and make sense about it. And Roller says, well, why don't you talk to Virginia about that? And he says, well, me and Virginia, you know, we're not together anymore. She's not talking to me because I broke off our engagement. And Roller was like, well, why don't you handle that? Okay. And gave, you know, Dean a little something to think about. So, back at the salon, they pissed off at Melba for running. So now, bitch, you really fixing to die, you know. Desna, she ain't got time for this shit no more. She done brought all this dissension within her crew. Okay, we gonna kill you, and then we gonna worry about all the rest of that later. So she got the gun pointed at Melba's face, and Dean walks in. Dean, what are you doing here? He was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Well, what are you doing here? Well, he was actually coming there to talk to Virginia. Okay, but why you got the gun on Melba? And she was like, because they're trying to kill your mama. Please help me. Well, Desna tells Dean that she has to kill Melba because she has to kill Melba. The professor has told her that that's what she's got to do from the macaws. Okay, and Dean, of course, is not going to let this happen. Not while he's standing there watching anyway. Well, Melba's so mad and upset about everything that's going on. You know, Melba says some old evil shit to Dean. You know, that me and Mac never cared about you, because she knows how much Mac cared about Dean and vice versa. But Melba never really cared, okay? But they so mad that she could say something so hurtful to Dean that Jennifer goes up to her and knocks her the hell out. Low down bitch. But Dean stops him again. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Melba is horrible. She is awful. I know that. But you guys still shouldn't kill. And then Dean come through with a word. He said, you know, he's killed before and it changed everything. You guys know that Dean is still dealing with that. And that's the reason why he's so addicted basically to Mahjong, because that took all of his thoughts away about killing, you know, being involved in the killing with Raval and his mama and shit last season. He says, you guys have got to find another way. So we're going to come up with another plan. Now, Polly, she can't even think about a plan right now. All she want to know is, does Desna think that Melba's lying about Joe? Child, we can't worry about Joe right now. Plus, Desna can't give her no good advice. Fuck, she's with a man that she tried to kill in the past. Okay, none of this makes sense right now. But let's figure out what we're going to do about Melba. Oh, you guys remember Polly's friend from the joint back in the day who helped them out, you know, with the situation with Penelope's body? Okay, well, maybe we can reach out to her and maybe they can help them fake Melba's death. All right. Now, I was like, something short of a head for the McCalls. I don't know how you guys going to fake this one. But whatever. They going to meet with the lady. The lady got body parts. And I'm going to need it to be some body parts that matter, not no hand. So they take a hand from the lady, but I'm thinking to myself, like, that doesn't prove that somebody is dead. A person can still operate just fine with no hand. Like I said, if you're not showing a head chopped off, when it comes to the way that they were saying that the triads are, then a body or a head. I think those are the only things that's going to suffice for them. But they seem to think that this hand is going to be okay. So they take the hand. So they go back to the salon. And I guess they going to doctor this whole scene up. And in the meantime, we're going to let Melba go. You know, Melba's like, that's it? Yep, that's it. She ain't real sure about it, but she's backing out of the salon and into the parking lot. You know what? That's all right, Desna. You should have killed me while you got the chance. Okay? I ain't going nowhere. She out there big willy talking. And then a truck come and run her ass over. I was like, oh, child, I screamed so loud, and then I just could not stop laughing because I was just like, wow. Okay, talk about poetic justice. We sure took care of that real quick, fast, and hurry. Now you ain't even got to lie to the McCalls. Melba gone. Dean now is mama and daddyless. And Dean still does care about Mac. And I think Dean knows that Mac cared about him as well, no matter what Melba told him. But the girls, they glad it's done. They want to go out and they want to celebrate. Let's go get some chicken. So the girls all go. Dean goes with them. Well, all the girls except for Desna stays back and Anne is still in the salon. And Anne is still trying to deal with her feelings and, you know, this whole thing about what she just found out about what Desna said. And, you know, Desna goes in there and she apologizes to Anne. But Anne was just like, she don't really know if she can accept the apology. Remember, I told you again, Anne's been upset with Desna before. And so Desna turns on the music, and it is a song that meant a lot to Arlene and Anne. So Anne goes into another dream sequence when she's dancing with Arlene, and Arlene basically tells her that she's going to have to go on with her life. She's going to have to raise this baby by herself. She can do it, you know, and Anne says that she can't, but Arlene says you can and you will. Okay, and after she gets out of that little dream, she's about to walk out, and Desna's like, well, what? And Anne says, I'm gonna need some time. I'm telling you, if I was Anne, now I know it's a show, and if she's gonna be a character on the show, then she's gonna have to figure out some kind of way to work around Desna. But if this was real life and I already had issue with Desna, I'd be done. Okay, yes, I had my own steps and I've had my own faults and I've made my own mistakes within all of this mess, but Desna still is a lot of the reason, and I wouldn't be able to unwrap my mind around the fact that she created a lot of this mess that everybody kind of you know, fell into trying to help her. So I would just be done. Okay, I'm gonna have to love you from a distance, but that's probably not gonna happen. Just let Anne get some time. She'll probably be back with Desna. Now back at the clinic, we see Bryce and Uncle Daddy, you know, this hot yoga session. It's funky in there and everything, but you know, they're about to sweat out these impurities so they can all take their pee tests and see how they doing. And while they're there, Uncle Daddy gets a text message from Toby, said that he about to go and confess. Oh shit. Uncle Daddy had to throw everybody out, and him and Bryce got to jump in the car and rush their ass on down to the church. So while they in the car driving down there, you know, Bryce don't know, remember. Bryce was like, Uncle Daddy, is there something on your mind? Like, why we, you know, he holding on to shit. And Uncle Daddy finally comes clean and says that Toby was the one who shot at Desna, who shot Virginia. He told Roller that Clint was the one that was responsible. So Roller and Desna killed Clint. And, you know, Toby is feeling all this guilt. And now he about to go and confess to the church. And he got to go down there and stop it. But you got to swear on your life and everybody's life around you that you're not going to say nothing. I said, child, they going to push this Bryce back on drugs some which kind of way. Anyway, they get to the church. Uncle Daddy goes into the confessional. You know, he's in there telling, I mean, you might as well make good on why you're there, right? So he's telling the priest about, you know, some of his sins and, you know, how he didn't went to different bathhouses and didn't come out clean. Then he asked the man about Toby. And the priest was like, well, I don't, you know about Toby. And, you know, Uncle Daddy, yes, you do. I can smell the lies through the little confessional thing. And I was like, oh, Uncle Daddy, you're not about to do this, right? Uncle Daddy said he tried to change, but you know what? He just not a good person, and he just going to go on and embrace it and accept it. And then he shoot the man through the confessional thing. And I was like, not in the church of the Lord, Uncle Daddy. And Uncle Daddy walk on out, okay, blood spattered on his face. Bryce sees him, knows enough not to ask any questions. You know, Uncle Daddy does a little, the little cross on his body, and then he walks on out with Bryce following him. I said, Uncle Daddy, you done made a mess, okay? Because Toby was not talking about confessing to them. Toby was talking about confessing to the police. He's at the police station, you guys. He's confessing, all right. The shooting, the framing, all of it was done by Dwayne Baggerly Husser. Okay, but everybody calls him Roller. I said, ooh, now that Roller said he ain't going back to jail. Okay, so if he ain't going back to jail, you guys, and the police is after him, then Roller might be next on the chopping block on the show. We'll see, though. It's going to kill Desna. But somebody going to have to go. Alright, you guys, so that's it. Let me get off of here. What I will say about Claws is I'm kind of sad that the last few episodes have been good and reminded me of old Claws. But because the beginning of the season, up to like around episode 6 or 7, it was so like all over the place. Maybe their plan was to finally come back together at the end, but it feels like it took too long. And I'm wondering if that is going to keep them from getting renewed for next season. I'm really hoping that they get renewed, because if they can keep this energy, you know, and not quite be so way off the beaten path next season, I think that they'll be good. Because last episode, this episode, and I'm sure the finale is going to be really good. I enjoyed it. But again, I'm just kind of worried about the show. But you guys, we just gonna keep our hope alive that they make it to a season 4, you guys. But anyway, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.